The first women's encounter of this year was unbelievable. There were 17 women that went through, and of all of them, only 2 had relatively mild stories. The rest had very traumatic childhoods or stories marked with a lot of sexual abuse, even incest abuse, rape, a lot of homosexuality, lesbianism, drugs, abandoned homes, and surprisingly, several mothers who have died. In an encounter, women have the opportunity to share their stories for the first time. It's not that we just want them to say what happened to them. The love of God begins to touch their lives, and the power of forgiveness begins to free them. And these women begin finding their voice to share the trauma that they have gone through. Speaking their story breaks the power the silence has over them. It was surprising that many women had carried these difficulties and traumas for their entire lives without telling another person. Sometimes they just think that's normal. That's just how life is. But it's not. God has so much better for them. Words can't adequately describe what it's like to visibly see young people or women encounter God's love for the very first time. But that wasn't what marked me at this encounter. What it was seeing answered prayer, seeing it visibly. There are several young people that go through their encounters and go home. Home is the battlefield for them, a place where there's chaos, abuse, violence, fighting, absolutely no peace. But there have been so many young people who have gone back to that mission field of their home and have successfully lived out their faith. Now, I'm not saying they're perfect. There are very few perfect young people in our church. Actually, there aren't any. Scratch that. There's no perfect young people in our church. But there are many who have a desire to live out their faith. And so there were 3 mothers there at this encounter who have had 2 to 3 of their kids go through their encounters and see their lives change. Each of these women came to their encounter wanting change, but not only wanting it, but believing it's possible because of what they've seen in their young people, in their own children's lives. When we got back to church on Sunday night and had our testimony time, these women called their kids forward and publicly asked for forgiveness. One of the moms had tried keeping her son from cell group, had tried making his life so difficult for following Jesus Christ, but because of his love and perseverance, she decided to go to the encounter and surprise him and his 2 sisters. Leading a church of young people is sometimes difficult, but it's been so incredible to see how God is beginning this process of family restoration. Chains are being broken. Not only chains of sin and personal trauma, but other chains are being broken. The chains of generations that have passed on abandonment and dysfunctional families. Young people are starting to rise up with values to live out in their homes, and they're winning their parents. It's unbelievable. We look forward to all the upcoming encounters this year. Our goal is to do 2 a month, 1 for men, 1 for women. Please pray with us as God continues to transform lives. Thank you so much for partnering with us. God bless.